Welcome to day 4 of our Stamp Camp Week of Webisodes.
We have matching stamps and cutting dies.
We do, hooray! Come play with us. Yes, we did get a little carried away with layered accents, stamps, and matching cutting dies.
Always love the cutting dies to simply cut out those stamped images.
And let's get into some projects. Here is the first. And I just think this is so neat in that not only do you have the layered accents, so we'll get in close so that you can see each of them. So not only words and greetings, as well as the various layering ovals and rectangles.
Some really beautiful images. I kind of like to show you the stamp set.
Okay.
There are 23 of these stamps, and you're getting these large tags, oval, you're getting lots of little greetings and lots of little flourishes and extra pieces. So this is really going to be fun to put together and decorate. Plus you've got how many of those? You've got quite a few. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 great cutting dies to cut them all out.
And here is the layering aspect, as you can see. And because they're each different colors, it's really easy to see and so simple to do, and they match up perfectly.
Right, and they do match up perfectly. I've got my Misty stamping tool here, but you can certainly do it without it. I just like to use it. And here is one of the die cut pieces, and then I've got the matching stamp. And I wanted to show that when I'm doing this on the Misty, if I cut the piece first, it's so small, I don't want it to sort of move around. I like to use repositional adhesive, these repositional dots, and then put it on a piece of cardstock that I have anchored in there. So now it's not going to move, and I can line up my stamp very easily and use my Misty stamping tool to stamp it perfectly. Now if I wanted to, I could also stamp it first and then line that cutting die up and cut it out that way.
But I think our recommendation is to die cut it first and then stamp it.
It's totally up to you, but I like it that way. I definitely like to die cut first.
So you can see the layers and you can see the intricacy of the artwork in the stamp. So this is one example, again, on just the black and white background out of the colorist papers.
Right.
This is, I think, just beautiful. And this is, of course, that great big piece with the stamp, and then the little guy coming up doing your greeting. So it's nice to have those little ones.
It is. And I love that this one is done on patterned paper. So this is the Romantique collection, and that tag itself was stamped on 2 different pieces, a green and a blue. And on that blue, the pastel Spectrum Noir pens were taken. So you can see that it's already blue, but there's a nice pink on those flowers, and I started coloring them in, but I think it just gives this nice, almost kind of a chalkboard look to it, using those pastels on there, adding the pink, adding the green, and so that's a nice way to add the highlighting. But then you can take this piece. Okay, so I want that one to be my background, and I want this blue to be that center portion. I want that to stand out, so I'm going to cut out just this section of that tag, the center piece. Oh, I think that the little scallop was followed, and I wasn't anticipating that when I was going to cut this off really quickly, but there we go. I cut along that black line and then just glue that in place. So now you've got that blue and green working together.
And then you can come in and finish up that coloring with the green and the pink, but just a beautiful look, pretty simply done too.
Right.
And on the inside, we've got more of the layering done, just really, really pretty. And again, stamping and die cutting pattern paper. So this is one look. Here is a very different look, a very vintage, same cutting die, same stamp, but such a different look.
And that's done with chalks. So really easy to just to color those images in with chalks, and again, stamped on printed paper, which is a great effect because then you've got all this natural color behind it.
And I don't think many people talk about stamping on pattern paper, and I just love the look. Also, look at this peeking out. Again, the layering. Another piece
really
over
great.
here.
I love using the paper for lacing those buttons as well, so that's a beautiful look.
And on the inside, again, you can just really accent that greeting and draw your eye right to it.
And it's real easy to use chalk. It's so simple. Just dab it on here and there and sort of leave little halos around it. It's nice.
That's all it takes. Look at something totally different, absolutely different that you can do.
And that is so fun. And that is just, those flowers, those doily flowers, are not cut out. They are actually stamped and embossed right onto the black cardstock. So it looks like this. So start like this, orient them wherever you want. Then I've got my my cutting mat here, and I've got my retractable pen knife, and I'm going to cut right along the bottom of that flower just a little bit so that I will be able to lift an area right there. So a little slot right there, and then I have a strip of green patterned paper that I'm just going to tuck in there just like so, and I've got a stem.
Okay, so it looks exactly like it's growing.
It does.
And look at that, very fun. Thinking of you up the upper left-hand corner, and on the inside, just one single blossom against that bright, bright pink. Just very fun.
So what's nice about that, you can either just stamp and emboss and leave them on the card like so, or you can use that cutting die and go ahead and cut them out. Even on the front, you could technically do that, cut them out and just put them on the black.
If you wanted to, yeah, just gorgeous. And speaking of gorgeous, how about mixing our stamping? So we're using the gold on the brown cardstock.
I love that stamp in the background. It's an overall stamp. It really covers a lot of area. It's just beautiful. It's really rich.
How stunning that is. And this is the label swing card. And we've got another little one right here with love, just very nicely
So they're
done.
small enough that you can sort of tuck those little extras in just anywhere.
Very fun. Also fun to have it swinging.
Beautiful
One last
look.
one just to give you, and again, just taking those little pieces and using them in a row and doing them against, this is the Twilight Jewels.
It's just a fun border. It's really nice. It's got white embossing around the edges and then just stamped in the centers of each one of those.
Hello, birthday wishes, just for you, with love. And another one on the inside.
More
so just
birthday wishes.
Lots of ways you can use them individually or layering them as the name gives you.
No fussy cutting. You've got all that taken care of with the cutting dies, and just beautiful artwork on those stamps.
Layered accents is what it's all about. Please join us tomorrow. We'll be continuing with our last day in this week of Webisodes.
See you then.